Hi, Dad. Welcome back to another episode of David and Andy's Honest About Life. How are you?
I'm doing well, buddy. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well, thank you. So every once in a while we get to talking about current topics and all that. I happened to see this morning, they do those tests, those automobile tests where they run them into some kind of you know, a big concrete wall and pay attention to what happens to the dummies inside and all that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen this one, but the big concern now is with these electric cars and how heavy they are. And for whatever reason, we have this love affair. We Americans have a love affair with SUVs and trucks. I know you drive a truck, 319,000 miles on it, which is incredible.
Yeah.
But we have a love affair with these large SUVs, and probably because the gas prices are still somewhat reasonable, even though you and I remember when they were less expensive, like less than $1 a gallon. Now,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so somehow we managed to marry up gas prices with big SUVs and somehow make sense of it and rationalize it. But anyway, they were saying that these batteries in the bottom of these SUVs make these things 1,000 to 3,000 pounds more in weight than the average gas burning SUV.
Yeah. And I
Do
think
you
that
think do you think that humans being the way they are, we're going to choose an SUV with these batteries? You think this is part of the motivation to buy electric vehicles because of the safety issue?
that's part of it, I'm sure. I would think so. But the longer they want longer duration in between the charges.
Yeah.
And so when they try to do that, I think they have to make the battery bigger and heavier. So they're trying to get a nice balance between distance between charges and too much weight. So that's a challenge that's going to be there. And I think these batteries are something that I hope will be able to be either recycled or reused somehow, so that we're not putting that in the environment.
Right, right. They also talked about. Did you know that the Hummer, the new EV electric vehicle Hummer, is 9,000 pounds, but can go 0 to 60 in 3 seconds?
That's nuts.
Isn't that?
That's scary because you get in the way of one of those heavy things going that fast, you're
Uh,
in trouble. That's a lot of momentum.
you're in a heap big trouble. Because honestly, how are they going to slow down fast enough if they? I mean, are you kidding me? 9,000 pounds. Like, what does your truck weigh? 5,000, 6,000, maybe?
I don't even think that much. I
Yeah.
think because a lot of it, there's some aluminum that they're using in it now, and so yeah,
Right.
I don't even know. And
So do
that's
you,
one thing I'm not good at is a lot of car. I just want a car. I want a car that moves me around.
you have a daughter who's going to be driving age relatively soon. Um,
Scary.
I know, right? Do you think that daughter, she's obviously a sister then, right? Half sister.
Yeah.
Do you think about what kind of vehicle you'd get for her? Would it be an electric vehicle?
That's a really good question. I'm tending I'm tending to not say that she should get an electric one. I don't know. I don't know what the down the road if they're going to ban internal combustion engines. I'm not sure, and that scares me a little bit. I, I, you know what my thought is about all this stuff,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
and my
I,
personal feeling is I hope they don't. Um, I hope they don't do that.
well,
That's another freedom we've lost. To me.
right, right. Well, it's California that put something on the books, right, for like 2030 or 2035 about selling combustion engines.
Right.
No
Yeah.
more.
It's a long ways down the road yet, but it's definitely something we got to start thinking about and either combat or jump on, with, I'm just not ready to jump on right now because I think carbon is not a pollutant. And that's just my feeling because we need it to live. If we didn't have carbon, we wouldn't be here.
Right.
Carbon is absorbed by our plants throughout the world. And the amount of carbon that we contribute is pretty dang small. And it really, I believe, in the whole scheme of things in the climate, that our contribution of carbon is insignificant. It's just my
You
feeling.
know, No, I appreciate that. I know that I mentioned, what kind of vehicle would you get for your daughter who's going to be driving age here soon? I shouldn't have said it like that. I should have said, because there's going to be some listeners out there to say, let's stop and think about you're going to purchase a vehicle for your child. Where I might have said is, support her in whatever kind of vehicle she's going to work for, she's going to, get a loan for and pay it back.
Absolutely. No. And I totally understood what you were saying.
Yeah.
I'm not buying a car for her. She's going to buy her own car. She can do that. She's working. She can do that. So I'm not going to buy her a car. And, but I understood what you meant by that is which kind of car would I recommend she have?
Right.
And I would at this point give my fatherly input. I would say that buy a gas engine.
And they're still making them, right? I mean, so there's going to be new and used for a while.
I hope they never go away. I hope they never go away. They were great, and they still are.
Yeah, there seems to be, it's interesting because, depending on what article you click on your news feed, then you get just pummeled by similar articles, right? So if I clicked on something called renewable fuel vehicles and wondered what that was, because non-renewables are, petroleums and, oils we pull out of the ground, but there's renewable fuels and that they're exploring. So then you get down this path of, well, could that really be the alternative to electric vehicles? And there are some that believe it could be. And we're talking about hydrogen and carbon and some other possible fuel sources that are renewable. One was like, natural gas, right? Because that's just, I don't know if that's renewable, but we seem to have a lot of it and we waste it.
Yeah, it comes out of the ground. I mean, right. I believe they tap it from the ground, and this is a byproduct, I believe, of carbon. Of that carbon and somewhere along the formation of that,
right?
Natural gas is being formed as well.
Yeah,
I'm not an expert there, obviously.
So you hear about, EV buyers being duped, as the word you keep seeing. I felt like I've been duped when I bought an EV, and I'm sure not everybody feels that way because they love it and they, it's right for their lifestyle. They don't ever drive 300 miles at one time. They're just driving around the neighborhood and they plug it in when they get home and it works just fine.
Right.
But prices are coming down. I could see this buyer's remorse because they paid too much in the beginning, all that. So I'm just curious about, what your thoughts are and what you advise for your daughter who's coming up.
My next vehicle, which is going to be soon probably because mine is going to lose its wheels. And it's a Ford F-150, I can say that. And it's got it just turned over 319,000 miles and it's still going strong. I've got a few noises that I'm not familiar with, but I can handle it.
That's pretty awesome though. I feel like we should reach out to Ford and tell them the good news,
Yeah, they might make a commercial out of me with that. But I'll see if I can get 400,000 out of it. I'll be doing really well.
Well, that means you got to start driving a lot more, probably.
Yeah. Now that I'm retired, I don't drive as much as I used to.
Well, thank you, Dad. Another good time spent with you and getting your opinions on things, and I greatly appreciate your willingness to have this conversation with me, Dad. So I love you. Can't wait till next time.
I love you, and I can hardly wait until next time. And I know we've got some big things that we're going to reveal here in the near future, and I think you and I are going to have a lot of fun with that.
Can't wait. All right, until then, bye, Dad.
Bye, buddy. Love you.